Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the JCP Podcast. I am your host, Jake Paulson, and today we're going to be talking about the art of letting go. All right, if you remember from last week, we talked about the 4 simple ways to hold yourself accountable. Each week's going to be a little bit different. Personally, next week, to be determined. So we'll see. But today we're going to be talking about the art of letting go. So I wanted to start today off with a quote from, I might be botching her name, but I think it's Dorothy Brande, Brande. And this is from her book, Wake Up and Live. Never read it, but it's a good quote. She says in her book, act as though it were impossible to fail. Again, she says, act as though it were impossible to fail. And for some reason, this takes the pressure off me completely and puts the pressure on the act and not the outcome. So today we're going to discuss this little simple mindset switch that may be all you need to take your leadership, your business, or your impact on your community to the next level. So let's dive in. There's a couple main points that I wanted to talk about in this episode. One of them was golf. Okay, a lot of you guys, yes, the sport, golf. A lot of you guys might not know what golf is. So golf is essentially the accumulative of 18 holes, and it's your score. It's what your score is at the end of those 18 holes. So if you start off hole 1, you have a 5, hole 2, you have a 5, and you average that out, whatever that is, you shot a 90, right? Or and the par is usually 72. So if you have a par 4 for one hole, from the beginning of the tee box to the hole itself on the green, how many shots did it take you to get in there? It should take you 4. If you got a 5, it's a bogey. It's 1 over par. And then by the end of the round, it's usually a par 72. So if you shoot 100, you're 28 over by the end of the round. That's essentially how golf works. Now, the reason I wanted to start off with golf is because going into your first hole in golf, you could have the best mindset ever. The freshest mindset of, this is going to be the best round I've ever shot, my record. And if you go into hole 1 with that mindset, let's say it actually comes true, right? The first hole, you hit a beautiful drive right in the middle of the fairway, and then you hit a good second shot on the green, and then you make the putt for birdie. So now you're 1 under after 1 hole. That's like professional golf right there. You're doing well. Going on to the second tee box, you might be thinking, this is going to be my best round. I'm speaking it into existence. And then boom, you hit 3 into the OB, out of bounds. Okay, now you're not feeling so hot. Now you put a ball down angrily, and then you hit 1, and then you hit another, and then you hit another, and then all of a sudden you end up with a 10 on that hole. It's a par 5, let's say, so you're 5 over. Now you're 4 over for the round after 2 holes. Now you go onto the third tee box. Now how are you feeling? Probably not very good. You're probably angry, right? Uneasy. Now you're kind of nervous about what you're going to do on this next shot or you're just like, screw it. It's not going to be my best round anymore. Where's the cart lady? Let's get some beers, right? Now it's just a leisure round and you're not actually trying. So why is that? It's because you're letting circumstances that happen in the past affect your shot in the moment. Again, you're letting circumstances that happen in the past, things that have happened to you, allow what you're doing in the present moment. Now you might be thinking, okay, well, there's water on the right. Well, I usually slice it right, so I'm probably going to hit the water. Well, where do you think that ball is going to end up? Probably in the water, right? It's the same thing in sales. It's the same thing. You got to let go of the outcome and clear your mind. When you're in a meeting with a prospect, a potential client, you can't let what happened in that last meeting affect what's happening in this meeting. You can't let it carry over, because if it does, it's just going to ruin that meeting and you're going to come off like whatever happened in the past, right? So you need to just clear your mind. And just not let it affect your circumstance in the moment. That's what good salespeople do. Letting go when the pressure is on to perform. Oh my gosh, looking back at it, every time I had a pressure-filled moment in my life, it seemed like there was so much pressure to perform, whether it was like a big golf match or in sales competition or even just sales itself. Starting a baseball game, like coming in as the first pitcher, that's nerve-wracking. Or coming in as the reliever to end the game, coming in as the closer. Imagine that, one inning, the ninth inning, and you're going in to end the game, and you're one run above the other team. Okay, that's a lot of pressure. All right, I don't know if there's any more pressure than that. That for me, that was like the most pressure-filled moment of my life, is coming in to be the closer in a baseball game. Oh my gosh, any swing could just end the game, or tie it up. But I can remember back to when I was in the Minnesota State golf tournament. I was a junior at this time, and I remember I was 2 over par through 11 holes. So at that time, my best round was a 75, so that was 3 over par for the whole 18 holes, and I didn't do that in the state tournament, So this, at the time, was the best I've ever done in a golf round, and it was at the state tournament, and I'm on hole 11. And I remember I hit a good drive in the fairway, and then I hit a good second shot. It's a par 5. I hit a 5-wood it was like right in the rough outside off the green. And we have like a gallery because my family was there, and the other 3 guys I was playing with, their family was there as well. And so we have like this gallery following us. And I remember just this chip shot being so locked in and focused that I wasn't nervous at all. And I chipped it up and it went in. So I eagled. And so now I'm back down to even for the round. And I just remember this feeling of like like that. I was pumped. I did like the tiger fist pump when I made it. And that was a good moment. But then I walked over to the next hole, and it's this long par 3, like 200 yards. For those golfers out there, you know what I'm talking about. It's like 200 yards up a hill with a bunker on the right, bunker on the left. It's kind of like this postage stamp green, which means it's higher than everything else around it. And there's a group on the tee box. So I'm like, shoot, well, now we're going to be waiting forever. And so, of course, I'm sitting there waiting, and I'm sitting there saying, well, I'm realizing in the moment, this is the best I've ever done. And this is a state tournament. Like this ain't no joke. This is a state tournament. This is the best I've ever been, best I've ever done. And so I'm trying to stay in the moment so hard. But these like voices in my head just keep creeping in of, well, what's going to happen on 18 when you get there? Or what's going to happen remember what happened on this hole? You could have done better on this hole. Or what happens if you miss that chip? Where would you be? Like all these things are creeping into my mind about the past, about the future, about what could possibly happen. And so, of course, I go on and I bogey that hole. And then I bogey the next hole. And then I finish the round at a 73, which is 1 over par. So I did pretty good. So I must have birdied another one after that. But the point is that when we feel these pressure situations, at least for me, sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. So not every time I achieve what I desired to, but I'll tell you what, every time I learned something along the way. Every time. There was never a time where I didn't learn something when I failed. There was never a time. So I challenge you to switch your mindset from what can I earn from this to what can I learn from this? And this might just completely switch how you view the world around you. And it might just completely switch the decisions you make. Again, back to the quote, act as though if it were impossible to fail. Okay, imagine the things that you try, if it were actually proven to be impossible to fail at them, like, why would you'd be insane not to try, right? If it were impossible to fail, why would you not try? So far we talked about so far we talked about the how to living in the past by clearing your mind, or the how to stop living in the past is by clearing your mind. right? Clearing your mind and taking the pressure off the future results by switching our mindsets to a growth mindset. What can I learn out of this? Not what can I earn out of this? So now I want to talk about something that we all struggle with in our lives. At least I do. I know a lot of people that I work with do, and I know a lot of people in life do. This, my friends, is called commitment. Commitment. And commitment's one of those funny things. It's one of those things that's the only thing in life, pretty much, that's black and white. Right? If you're 99% committed, you're 100% not committed. Serious. But I'll tell you what, if you are truly 100%, if a person is truly 100% committed, there's a feeling of burden lifted from them. It's like all the stress is gone. They're 100% committed. There's no going back. There's no more, oh, what if I made the wrong mistake? Or what if I made the wrong decision? Or what if I did make a mistake? Or gosh, if I would have took that person's path, where would I be with that? And you see it in marriage, you see it in business, you see it in everything in life. Like commitment is the one thing that just lifts all those things going, it doesn't matter. I'm committed. It doesn't matter. I'm committed. There's no going back. And if there's no going back, it's literally not an option to go back. The only option is to move forward. If there's no option to go back, the only option is go forward, right? It's all logical. And I've definitely learned this in the past when I've fully committed myself to something to get the most out of it. I've also learned, though, that committing to 1 year of something, so I've committed to 1 year, committing to 1 year of something actually puts pressure on me in different ways, though. Like if I commit to 1 year, then in my mind, I commit to, okay, well, I only have this 1 year, so I have to make it the most perfect year ever because I only have one of them, right? But what I've done now, in spite of that, is I've actually committed myself to more than 1 year. And the reason I know this works is think about it this way. We all have lives, right? We all have lives. Now, I think the one thing that's similar is we only get one of them to everybody. We only get one of those lives, right? Now, think about this. Imagine if we all knew that we get two. So not only do we get this life, but we get to live a whole nother life after this. How would that switch your mindset now? What chances would you take in this one that you wouldn't necessarily take if you only had one life? Crazy, right? You probably take a lot more chances. Exactly. So that demonstrates the aspect of commitment right there. By committing to more than one of something, it allows you to have more safety on this end because you can fail safely. It allows you to fail more. And there's like you have another year in the tank, so you can learn from all the mistakes that you're making right now and just apply them in the next one, right? So that's what I've taken in is commit to 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years of something. Don't just commit to one because you're only going to learn a bunch in that one. You're not going to really succeed to the point where you can actually see the results more so, especially if it's in business. I mean, if you're just going to commit to 1 year, you might as well not commit to it at all. Or marriage, same thing. Or, whether it be, I don't know, like this podcast, like if you're going to commit to something, why would I commit to one episode? That makes zero sense at all. No one's going to get, maybe some people get something out of it, but it's not the whole point, right? So that's it for this episode of the JCP Podcast. If you like this episode, please leave a like. And if you found it even the slightest insightful, please share it with one other friend. Think of that one other person that you're like, I know this other person is into this stuff and they'd probably get something out of this. Send it to them. Just that one person. It helps a ton. It helps me, helps them. It helps the podcast grow and they'll get something out of it. So that's the whole reason behind the podcast is just to add some value to people who are striving to be better, whether it's in their business, their leadership, or their community. So stay tuned for next week. Until then, let's get after it. Peace.